We are live?
We did it. We did it twice. I don't know what was
Hey.
happening. It didn't want to connect. That's why you saw those like 3 numbers run after the second time. Like,
Yeah. I was like, is this like being on the space shuttle and then the engines go out and you're like, should we just go or
Yeah.
are they just gonna try again and that's cool? Like that's how it works.
Yeah, and then you
I was vibing
and it starts again.
Yeah.
I was vibing to the static. It made me feel like I was back doing dial-up internet. So I was enjoying that.
That's kind of the lo-fi vibe we're sort of going for.
Absolutely. Well, today we have a very special episode of Not How I Paint Things, of Bad Internet Friends podcast, and Fox is...
I'm here.
Hobby Homies.
I'm Fox. That's me. Yeah, I'm Fox from the Hobby Homies podcast, another YouTube channel, and we have so many arms of things that we do. And I'm
it's
here
like
to
a whole
tag along.
empire.
I know, we're building an empire. Yeah. A very small, indie, weird empire that makes people that don't understand it feel uncomfortable. So that's our vibe, which is good.
That's fair. So I think this makes it the first episode to have 2 things simultaneously, which is no goblin erotica and a triple nationality episode.
It's amazing.
Wait, sorry, did I miss out on goblin erotica? And how do we rectify that? How do we bring that in?
That's a subscriber sort of thing. You gotta make a little. I can't give out the goblin hooters for free.
Okay, all right, we'll talk.
I'll
sign up to what I need to sign up to.
It's amazing how many times it comes back to goblin erotica. Honestly.
Yeah, it's sort of recurring.
Yeah,
it's a recurring thing.
I was gonna say you guys need T-shirts for it, but then I was like maybe not. Maybe that's not the kind of thing you put on a T-shirt.
I don't know if how strict the rules are on those like print your own T-shirt in China places are, like what you can get away with.
Yeah,
so.
I think if you pay them, they'll print anything. So
that's probably true.
Yeah. I do have a true story. A friend of mine had a Playboy T-shirt with like a centerfold lady on it, so it was like fully nude, in the Playboy style. And he dared my other friend to wear it to school one day in high school.
Oh dear!
And my friend did.
Hey,
and what was
there was no consequences, oddly enough. Nobody said a thing. Wow. But that's what happens when you go to school in the Yukon. So
sure,
they were just happy he showed up to school.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as you graduate, you're doing.
Yeah. What are we gonna
this
do?
is the first time we've seen you all semester.
Yeah,
right. I get to wear my favorite clothes, so I'm here.
Yeah, like 2 teachers standing there, and one of them is like, at least it means he's reading.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask, and I don't know if you guys do this often, but I wanted to know what kind of stuff you are modeling or painting at the moment. Are you working on something now?
I have been so. It has been dreadful. I have such a full work schedule right now that I have basically not done any hobby gaming other than running a D&D campaign. And I didn't build anything for that. I decided to print out maps that I found online. So I have been doing a bit of gaming, but unfortunately, no. I have a couple of bags of 20 millimeter World War II Brits that have been sitting on my shelf and like staring at me. And it's the dumbest reason because I didn't realize this because I bought their Eureka minis or AB miniatures. I don't fucking know. One of those 2. Yeah, and I bought some before, and they were great. They're what sold me on 20 millimeter. They were really nice. Then I bought a bag more after I painted the first 2 squads or sections, and I realized that some of the figures aren't like cast on the bases, like they just have feet, and you have to like stick them on bases. And that doesn't sound such a bad thing, but they're 20 mil, so the feet are like, the tips of needles, basically. So that kind of I was trying to figure out like what to do with them. If I should just like put like modeling paste on there and stick them in them. So that's kind of what like halted me, and then I got like monstrously busy. But nominally, if you take like a geographical time scale, I'm working on World War II 20 millimeter stuff. So
sure, yeah. I had a similar problem with like some 15 millimeter metal samurai that I had, and I was just like, I can't, if I'm trying to hold them and glue them to the base, or even they don't sit up. So I did the same thing. I got like a little bit of modeling compound, or like the Vallejo mud stuff, and then I kind of just put some super glue drops on the bottom, and then I kind of just placed them in there, and that was enough just to hold them up for the glue to set. That worked okay. But yeah, that was before I thought of that. That was a nightmare. I almost gave up on the project. So.
Yeah, I gave up on a box of 15 millimeter, the Plastic Soldier Company, like World War II Soviets, because some of the figures were multi-part, and I'm not assembling a 15 millimeter multi-part infantry game. That's not happening.
That should be illegal. I feel like once the scale gets below 20 mil, you can't have multi-part. I'm sorry.
No,
you forgo
it's
your
bad
right.
enough for 20s, because if you ever assembled multi-part like 172 scale plastics, I know that plastic is like some weird devilish compound, but
yeah,
that's absorbable. So
yeah,
we should probably introduce ourselves.
Sure.
Sorry, of the Hobby Homies podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got a little bit of a shared audience. They're like, "Who the fuck are these weirdos? What am I doing?" I could literally be mowing the lawn looking for spiders or whatever.
And what are they doing with David?
Yeah.
What are they doing hanging out with Axe Annex?
Yeah. Well,
which is who I am. Yeah. Axe Annex, David on the
Canadian
Discord. Yeah. Hobby Homies Discord on the internets. Now just known as Bad Internet Friends Podcasts, because I rebranded the channel, and sometimes I do painting. And related to the painting question, I've been working on mostly just BattleTech, and I love this Gothic crab. He's been my favorite.
Yeah.
I
did him in very non-Gothic colors. He's a party crab.
That's sort of bringing back around, Yeah. I like
awesome.
That's pretty festive. Ivan, also known as Weasel. If you have played any of that 5 parsec shit, that's me. If you haven't, then you still could. There's really nothing stopping you.
No.
Yeah. It's funny. I think you actually, to enter our Discord, you have had to have played 5 parsecs from home, because we get called a 5 parsecs channel all the time. So I think people might be familiar.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you guys got into it pretty hard. So and that was like one of the earlier, because it was kind of like a uphill curve when the game was kind of getting picked up and YouTubers were finding it and stuff like that, where there were certain channels that kind of like popped up a lot because they kind of like committed to it and sort of got what it was about, I think.
Yeah.
So
actually, wait, I've got it. I probably have it right next to me. Oh no, this is another title.
Oh, so that one.
Yeah.
That was a bit more of a grind to get started on, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's the nerdy younger brother.
Yeah.
It's not the fun hip older brother.
That's such a good analogy. Yeah. Awesome.
So I am just here as the rules guy, and the resident history nerd, I suppose.
Yeah, which will be relevant, I think. We'll lean on your history nerdness.
Yeah. So
we do have a loose topic for today.
Okay.
So it has to do with
well planned, and then we have the topics we usually do, and this is the one we usually do. But we wanted to sort of touch on and interrogate historical gaming, because I think sometimes it can cause a little more angst than sci-fi, because it's all made up, nobody gives a shit. But historical games is stuff that happened, or at least it sort of did. You're in some way emulating things that took place in some fashion. So people can have big feelings about that. So I think that we don't really plan these out all that intensively. We don't write out a script or anything. It's just kind of free form. So
good.
Your opinions are valid and your jokes are welcome.
Yes.
Excellent. Good.
Except if they are about goblin erotica, because this episode will have none of that.
Yeah. It's no joking matter. That's very serious.
We are committed. Although talking about Romans and Nazis, there's relatively little goblin erotica, I'm led to believe. So
yeah.
Can you elaborate? Oh no, this has nothing to do with goblin erotica. Sorry, that's a mistake. Nothing to do with I almost fell for the trap.
It's really a willpower building exercise. It's like when you stop smoking or something. You have to focus on it. You have to be committed.
Yeah.
It's the more you think, the more you think about the goblin, the worse it'll get. You have to
we call that
your cave.
When you're thinking too much about the goblin, we call that a mind goblin. So, and that's something that we're not allowed to bring up on our on our channel either.
I guess a good starting point is what everyone's kind of relationship to historical gaming or historical miniatures or history in general is. So, Dave, do you want to sort of start us off there?
Yeah, I think historical gaming is like anything yesterday and beyond. So you could, if you want to like relive the game that you played yesterday, that's historical wargaming, you know?
Really, it's doing like December 9, 2025 in the 15
exactly.
millimeter.
That's all I do, like exclusively these days.
Yeah.
December 9.
December 8, that's just for nerds and losers. Nobody does that shit anymore.
Nah, that's too old school. That's the dark ages. We have no information about that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the historical wargaming isn't really an issue, I don't think. Because I don't know, it's just pretend for the most part, and you're still like, I don't think you're really trying to experience the exact battle that your grandfather fought in the trenches. But for me, the part that sticks in my craw is when you say things like, "Oh, Hitler was actually a vampire," you know, that's why he's so evil. I don't know why, but I just can't stand some parts of Weird War. Like the ones where they try to like retcon history to make the human villains into inhuman villains.
Oh yeah. I have kind of a pet peeve with it. It comes up a lot in like RPG stuff too, where there's this idea that if you take like, I don't know, like the Three Musketeers era, like the Renaissance in France or something, that you can't make that exciting and interesting unless you put like fairies and like werewolves in it or something. Like that's to me, it's just like shit writing or shit creativity. Like if you can't make something,
say that,
if you can't make something like that that's so like colorful and interesting and dramatic and has literally been used in film, you know, if you can't turn that into an interesting tale, then maybe you're there for the wrong reason, I suppose.
And also, what's the motivation if that setting alone you didn't think was interesting enough to like warrant its own game or whatever? Why are you using that thing? Why are you like, that's interesting?
Like what makes it? Because in that case, I mean, if your primary thing it's going to be a werewolf story or a werewolf game or something, and it's just gonna it's just like set dressing. In that case, I'm gonna just assume you're not putting that much thought and effort into that part. Which again, you know, like we all presumably like watching Gladiator. Like I don't know shit about Rome. It looks real enough on the screen that it sells you on. Like if you're an idiot, then it probably looks like Rome because I'm an idiot and it looks like Rome to me. But it could just be, you know, like set dressing. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's not like if me and my wife was watching. Actually, I prefer to Australia. Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, which is set in like the 20s in Australia. It's a really fun show if you're into like murder kind of stuff. And there's like a scene where one of them has like a World War I era machine gun, and I was being an insufferable twat mouth to my wife because like that's the wrong model. That's the model introduced in like blah 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 blah. Like did that fucking matter? Well, no, obviously not. It didn't matter. But you know, like it stood out because the show is so like generally meticulous in like the feel and the vibe, and the clothes that the characters are wearing and stuff like that. You know, like it feels very authentic. So when something like that is within your area of like expertise, you notice it, like it stands out. It's like if you're a computer nerd, you're watching a show set in the 80s and they have the wrong like computer or something, you know, like it just like pulls you out of it like for a moment.
Oh, I have a related question. I want to throw this in right now. Okay, so if you're watching a show about hackers in the 90s, would it be appropriate to show 90s era graphics or graphics that were way beyond the era of the 90s? If you want to be historically accurate, you need to show graphics that were not capable or like possible in the 90s.
Like rolling off like your old 386.
As an IT manager, there are many movies that I go the same thing. Instead of the World War I gun, I'm like, they wouldn't have had a Cat 6 cable. What do you mean?
Like that was clearly, I forget what it was, like a detective show I was watching where they are like trying to hack into something, and then like their co-worker comes up and sits down and starts typing on the same keyboard. And I was like, what the fuck is that? That is not a thing. Like you gotta hack faster. You know,
there's a timer.
Oh yeah, no, I did. No, I saw the exact same thing happen in, what was it called? Not Criminal Minds. Anyway, one of those TV series where the nerdy gothic hacker chick, her job was to obviously hack cameras and stuff and get information or whatever, and she'd had a love interest. and he was really good at it too, and they would always compete. But there was this one task where she's like, I just can't do it on my own. And yeah, he sits down and starts typing on her keyboard while she's typing on it, playing the piano essentially. Yeah. And I'm like, well, wait, how are you typing cohesive things?
Yeah. Like, I remember being a kid and we were like super bored. The only thing we had to play was like Wolfenstein 3D. So we would make up like 2-player Wolfenstein, where one player would have the arrow keys to move and the other player would like shoot and open doors. Which is the kind of like dumb shit when you literally have nothing to do, but you still have like 3 hours to go. So you just
So we did the same thing like just last weekend. My sister has 6 kids. She's crazy, obviously, and I've got 2. And we had them all together, and we wanted to play Mario Kart, but there's 8 of them, so we gave one would have one controller to drive, and the other one could like shoot the items and jump.
Yeah.
And they were getting, it was awesome because they were all getting so confused which screen they were on, and they didn't know which one they were controlling. It was mayhem.
Finally,
so
like
awesome.
the problem of peeking at the other player's screen is solved just by making it so fucking confusing.
Yeah, you don't have a second to peek at another screen, or you'll get confused. Yeah,
just complete chaos.
But yeah, historical wargaming. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. See, this is actually one of the most like focused and on point like episodes we've had. So I think I was scribbling a couple of notes on like what people sort of because I have like certain things I don't necessarily game, but like what people sort of associate as like, because on one hand you could have like, if you're, this was maybe more a thing for like recent conflicts, like if you know, like if you knew somebody who like you're Croatian or something, and like your grandpa was like fucking shot by a sniper in Sarajevo in the Civil War or something, maybe like you want to be a little more sensitive about like inviting that dude to your game or something. Like maybe put that one on the back burner, or at least like check, you know, is he okay with that? He might not be. I do a Vietnam vet who legit gamed Vietnam. He played the VC as well, but he was kind of a special case. So you get all sorts, you know, like for him it was like maybe like a little bit of therapy, but it was like a way of contextualizing it in like, you know, it was painted soldiers, but they still had a sentimentality to them. That's probably the wrong word, but like it meant something that was like connected to him. But you could also have people who are like not, you know, you also get the opposite. I know like a lot of the Brit wargamers will do like, you know, like they're building specifically like the battalion in the royal armor that their grandpa was in the war or something, you know. You get that sort of thing. You get it with Americans too. Like if they were in grandpa was in a Civil War regiment from Iowa or something, they'll build that regiment, or, you know, so it's a way of like connecting yourself to the history in like a personal way. Although in that case, I would feel weird, like if that unit gets like destroyed, like holy shit, I just like fucked up my own timelines. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Fading away now. I was just thinking that when you were explaining it, I was like, I feel like that's the worst thing to do. But I mean, everyone's.
Yeah, there was some board war game that had a rule like that. It was a Civil War game where one of the units was marked, and like if this unit is destroyed, the game ends because was the author's like great grandfather or something. It's like,
wow.
But you know, you can have people who have if you have a direct personal connection. It's like the question of very shortly after the Ukraine invasion, people started popping up and asking about like, oh, how could we like wargame them? Like, well, is that a thing we should be doing right now? Maybe like
if it's still ongoing, then maybe
we should wait until like you know, like apartment blocks are not being shelled and shit. So
it's interesting. I think not long after that we hosted a live episode, and someone on the episode asked us that question, like how recent is too recent. And we were like, it's such a good question, because obviously everyone's different. Everyone's got their own convictions. And like you mentioned earlier, you know, yours are going to be different to the person who knew someone that served or.
Right.
We were just like, I don't know the answer. We sort of settled on one generation removed, but obviously there's even nuance to that. But
yeah. I mean, you could have like, my family had no connection to like the resistance against the Nazis that we know of. But you know, maybe if you had somebody who was like executed by the Nazis for sabotage or something, maybe it would be a little different to play, or I don't know. It's also like, because when we think about like Vikings or Romans or something, that's so like so far away that it almost makes them like fantasy people in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like if you're reading about a Roman battle or something, you're not really I mean, there's like, if you're like a normal person, you understand they're humans, but like, does this make sense? Like they're all
100%.
Like, made up because it's like 3,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago. And there's this point where it gets closer and closer to our own experience. Like my big like nerd area of history is World War One. And it's kind of like at the cutting point. Of course, like photography is a huge thing, and that makes a difference. You can see things as opposed to drawings and stuff like that. But it's also the cutting point of like the modern world. Like people from 1914 behave and talk and act and worry about things that are pretty similar to what we recognize in a way where if you've read like letters or memoirs or stuff from like the 1800s or the 1700s, it becomes like more and more detached because they get more and more like alien to us. I think that's a big part in that. Like I've never met somebody who had like a moral issue, like they felt uncomfortable playing like a Napoleonic battle. But like if you get into like Vietnam or something, you can get people who, because it's much closer to you, or it relates to your family in some way, or it's just things. If you didn't hear about it on the news, maybe your parents did. It was part of, growing up. So this is like diluting effect, like over time, I think.
Yeah. And I think I'm probably the worst case of just romanticizing. If you think about it, like recent World War II and things like that, I feel like there are people who like playing historical war games because of its historical connection, whereas I almost play them like their fantasy, because I'm still so disconnected when I have plastic miniatures that I've built and painted. What's really cool is a side benefit is I learn so much about the equipment. I'll like, what gun is this? I'll Google it and I'll be like, oh wow, that's really cool. And why am I putting this on his backpack? Oh, because I only had one of those and that was their rations for the week as they tried to do this. But then when I'm on the table, having a beer and throwing some dice, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe that grenade destroyed that building and blew apart your whole unit. That's wild. And so I think I'm completely, it's so abstract to me and so disconnected that I think it is interesting how we do romanticize every historical event that had some sort of unique characteristics to it, because I don't know if that's just a human thing where we can't really understand it until we draw a picture of it, if that makes sense.
No, I agree.
Like Western cowboys and
well, and it's also, there's certain things that are like etched in, like it's hard to escape like your culture. Like it's no coincidence that like most people who game like the American Civil War are Americans, because whether or not you have like a connection to it personally, but it's just part of like you can't understand American history without understanding the Civil War, like the same, for the English and Australians, like Anzac Days, big thing down your way. That's directly rooted in I actually I forget what it was. It was one of the A-League like soccer games, but it was like the first game of the season that I was watching, and they did like a whole ceremony and stuff. That was really cool.
So
just
I think the statute of Westminster is coming up soon, actually. Speaking of independence.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Those of us who weren't traitors,
but that's one of the things, like being Danish, anything we participated in that was history was like a hot minute ago, and then we realized that the world is really big and it's full of Germans, and it's best to just pretend that you're not around, because otherwise the Germans notice you. So a lot of things are, like I gamed World War II, and we were part of that, but not really like, if I'm building like a British army right now, that's not directly connected to like my own like cultural, like there's a different, I think, cultural connection to it than somebody who grew up in England, or grew up, in Canada even, or Australia or another country that was involved in the same way. I think that can create some distance too. But you're right, like at some point, like once you have like we've talked about this on, I'm rambling, by the way.
That's what we do on this show, is what Yaponomics, we call it. We're masters of yap. That's why we do this.
We had talked about an episode a while ago about how when you set up a table with terrain, you set up your minis and you start playing, it becomes this like, almost like little world on its own.
Yeah.
You have your troops and they have different things, and like this unit keeps missing all of its shots, and this guy just like survived a shot he shouldn't have, and that one rock there is like 1.5 moves too far to like advance that far. Like it becomes this little very vivid world, and I think that can tend to like overshadow and kind of crowd out, like you said, it becomes very abstract because it almost takes on its like own identity. They're not the third SS or whatever. They're just like the gray dudes that can't pass their fucking morale check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
spot on. I think. Well, at least that's what it looks like to me when you go.
I get it.
It's cool because they're all guns and grenades that people would have used at some time, but it's still so disconnected that you're just like, I don't think that this is part of a wider. Yeah.
I think there's a distinction where I think if you're sitting and painting, I think you're maybe like closer to it because you're like if you're painting a tank or something, you're trying to get it to look something that could have existed. Maybe you're even looking at specific camouflage patterns, or you're looking for photos of troops to find out exactly how the equipment was, or what. I think in that sense you're like a little closer to it because you're kind of like trying to find, like it's hard to look at a photo of a person and not feel some sort of connection to it. But like even the best miniatures are, they don't look that much like people. Like
we're probably like we're talking about war games where we roll dice and then put like little counters on the people and then take them off the table, when we're probably all used to growing up with like video games where when we're shooting the people there's actual bodies flying around, and so if we've already gone through that experience of disconnecting that from a reality, by the time
so picking up some 50mm guys doesn't really have the same, we're not sitting down afterwards and writing letters to their little lead wives,
although we should be better for that.
Post-campaign steps.
That goes back to your last episode on campaigns. Wait, when was that? Was that your last one? Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's why. That's what needs to be included with more World War II games. Is that
procedurally generated with letters of remorse?
So let me run this one past you guys because I had this idea. There are these. They're more an RPG thing. But they're these like journaling games, and there's like 1,000 of them. You go to itch.io, but they're basically like a lot of them are like random tables you roll on, and then you like write out like it's almost like writing a story with random dice rolls. And there's a bunch of them. They're kind of like a thing you do on your own. Maybe you share it in your blog or something, just kind of going through it. And I've always looked at them and thought like, okay, there's not a lot of like gameplay in here, but you could do something with it.
Yeah.
And I got this idea. And then I ungot the idea because I wasn't sure. And then I'm stuck, and I'm here. Because I found a bunch of scans of Canadian battalion commanders, like unit diaries from the First World War. So you could follow like day by day as this battalion like goes into the trenches and it reports, had minor skirmishing this day, sent 3 guys out to raid. 1 guy was killed by a sniper, this kind of thing. And it goes through like day by day. And I was like,
wow,
you could. So the idea was, okay, what if it was one of these games, but you're, the unit commander, and you have tables, maybe you have to send out guys. There's a little bit of rules to it, but it would be based on like a real battalion at a real place. So that on the 17th they got attacked. So that's what happens in the game, and you have to. And then I was like, but is that weird? Because that's a step like, like
that's intentionally making it connected to a real event. Is that
and like real people, like if this is Captain so-and-so, like you're not making up Captain Smith, like he existed, he has and I was like, does that make it weird or does it make it not weird? It's kind of
I think
that's
it depends.
Good question.
On your level of enthusiasm. Because there's people who reluctantly play the Germans, and there's people who enthusiastically play the Germans. So I think there's people who might be put off by that idea, but there's equal amounts of people who are very into reliving that kind of experience, like sharing the history.
Well, and part of what I was thinking was like, okay, if you're gonna like, because I'm one of those weird idealists who think that games can potentially teach us something. I don't have to, but it's nice if they do. And like in a way, not as a gotcha, like you'll be upfront about it, but like this is literally what going through this experience was like. Could be really like powerful and interesting. But then at the same time, it also has a chance of being like, you know, like kind of artsy, like artsy wanking off, or being like over, you know, like when something is like too earnest about like being serious and having a big moral to it. Right? So it's one of those things I keep like kicking around to do. And then of course, like,
I think that if I were to do it, I wouldn't do it. But you know, if I could imagine myself doing it, I wouldn't want to do something known. I would want to like probably bring to light something that people don't really know much about. Like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you know, like there's like all these tiny wars you never hear about. But if you could find like any kind of account like that, then it would be kind of cool to bring, you know, the struggles of a certain people you've never heard about in your life to light.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is like pretty sort of universally applicable. It's just a question of like how you know, like you turn the dial of like making it more personal. You know, if it's the 53rd Battalion, that's one thing. If it's the 53rd Battalion commanded by Captain so-and-so, that's another thing. If it's like, this one guy got shot on this day, write, you know, the letter to his parents. That's like, you know, like it becomes potentially weird. I don't know.
It's interesting because and I think this goes back to what you were talking about before, Ivan, where it's like how far removed you are from that starts to play when you're going like named people and actual events. How recent that was matters too, because I've got the it's right here next to me for some reason, the Test of Honor Sengoku rulebook, and this has actual characters and clans that existed. And so you can play as characters and humans, real humans that existed.
But you got like 1,000-year, like, or 800 years or whatever. So I was thinking about that. There was, I forget the name of the game. It's by Firelock Games. They have a World War One minis game, and one of the like things they have in there is very like, it's basically like Warhammer World War One. But all of the like, you can buy like upgraded versions of like officers and characters and stuff, and they're like specific people that like, one of them is J.R.R. Tolkien, for crying out loud. And I was reading through it, like a lot of them are like medal awards and stuff like that, you know. So they gave, okay, this guy got like the Victoria Cross, so he gets like a bonus to attack or whatever, like and I was like, on one hand, that's kind of cool, because like I went and looked up a couple of these guys, and, you know, just on Wikipedia or whatever, but you know, you kind of learn something. You're like, oh, okay, this guy was like a crazy badass. But at the same time, it also felt a little weird that you're kind of like I think part of it is also that like it's a commercial product, like you're making money off of this dude's name in a weird way. Like, even if you're only making like indie wargamer money, but still, like, it's taking a dude who like went through some shit and trying to like, in a tiny way, you know, making money off like that dude. I don't know. It's weird and probably overthinking, but that's kind of the point of the conversation, you know.
Yeah, weird and overthinking is our motto.
That's kind of what I think. That's a wargamer trait for sure.
Yeah,
that's a passive.
Anyone who's tried to like plan a project and like switch scales 8 times before you even start the project has knows that feeling pretty well.
Actually, you just reminded me of something that's probably super relevant. Is that I make games all the time and they never go anywhere. I've got like a million of them. And one of the games I made, and that it's the only game that's ever given me pause for moral reasons, was I had a game that was sort of, I guess, not ultra modern. I wanted it to feel immersive, like something we could see happening in 10 years from now. And so I made a game where you just played as like soldiers, and there was 2 factions to start with. And one faction was like a little bit more high tech and elite and had drones and things like that. And the other was a little bit less elite. And had some bad vehicles, and it was a little bit more scrappier, but kind of like more of a swarm army type thing. And I was just like, I'll start with those 2 factions. And I got halfway through and I was like, this kind of just feels a little bit too Russia, Ukraine. Like the drone warfare that I was focusing on, I was like, this just feels
it's hard
like
to, because then you see like a clip online or something. I was like, wow, that is fucking horrible.
I wrote rules for something that I was like, oh, hang on, this is a clip I could easily see online for sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just,
I'll pause
that. I'll pause that
at
one.
At the same time, you also get that's also where the distance comes in, because like if you ever read like an actual like eyewitness account of what happens when like a Napoleonic cannonball hits the person, it's horrifying. Like, you know, like those things were horrifying too. But like we talked about, we just have that, you know, like 800 years makes a huge difference. We don't really like, you know, we don't have an emotional connection to like the Battle of Waterloo or something, like, you know, in the same way that something that's happening right now. I think there's also an element, I'm gonna share an anecdote here, because it was one of the times that somebody got like really weirded at me online, and where I wasn't being, well,
I'm very excited to hear this.
yeah. Well, I wasn't being a dick. That was the thing that made it weird, because you know, I used to be a bit of a dick online.
We've all been 13.
Yeah. We've all been scrappy, getting old and lazy.
We've all been 25.
Yeah. We should all be thanking ourselves that all the shit we did on the internet, that shit didn't get saved. Like,
Oh, man.
GeoCities saved us.
Thank goodness it's gone. Had a lot of Neopets on it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I forget what game it was. It was like 5 Minute Curse or something. And this guy was talking. He was playing it on, I think, the Wargames website. He was posting his games. He was kind of new to World War II, and he had been playing as Imperial Japan. And so he was going through the campaign, and he had named his characters, and he was playing. And then he got to like reading up on what happens when Imperial Japan invaded a place, and it was pretty fucking horrible. And he came back and was
not good.
Yeah, it was real bad, like problematic. So he did a post saying like, well, he felt kind of bad about the campaign. He wanted to start a different one, basically. And I piped in saying like, yeah, I get it. Like, I don't usually play, I'll put German campaigns in games, but I don't usually play the Germans in a campaign game. In one-off games, I almost always do, because everyone I usually play with wants to play either the British or the Soviets. But that's fine. But if I'm playing a campaign on my lonesome, I'm playing usually the Brits. And this guy got like really intense about it, because he was like, well, if you're not playing the Germans, does that mean you're judging us for doing that? And is this like a trap that is in the book? You know, like you shouldn't be. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, the option is literally in there. You can roll up a squad of like Grenadier and have a go at it. Like, I'm not gonna come to your fucking house. I don't know who you are. But he got like the dude got like super intense about it. Like, he was being judged for playing like a German campaign. And I was like, you know, like, it was just
insecurity.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't think you were weird for playing the Germans, but now I kind of do. Like,
it's a self-report.
Yeah, like
how much you care that you thought I cared makes me care.
Right. Like, you know, like, is that the one dude who like puts like Nazi decals on his like Star Wars models? Like, you know, but it got me thinking, because like there's historical periods I don't game because I just either don't have time or I'm not that interested. I don't really do medievals much because it's not really my thing. I don't do Renaissance stuff because I just don't have the time for it. And there's a few that I don't game for because I'm just find them kind of distasteful. Like, I don't. This always like gets people intense as well. But I don't do colonial gaming. I just don't have the interest in it. I don't find like the thin red line. Like, I've watched Zulu 1,000 times, like everyone else has, but I just don't want to game that. Like, I don't want to. You know,
like, I was watching Zulu.
Like, you know, but. Yeah, I just don't want to game, like, I'm going to be crass here, like the thin line of whitey is like gunning down like Africans. That's just not my thing.
No.
You know? And I don't think if you're into that and you play that and you game that, like, I don't think you're a bad person. Like, I would hope people understand like the complexities of, you know, colonial politics and, you know, that. Yeah. And, you know, like the Zulus were not like, you know, it has nothing to do with any of that. I just kind of don't want to. Like, it's just not something that I think makes me feel excited to like sit down and play a game. But people get like really bent out of shape about it, because maybe just because if you're really into colonial gaming, maybe you kind of look like the weird wargamer, you know? Like whether you are it's like when you get like dudes reenacting at conventions, and there's always like 50 like SS guys or German paratroopers for every like one like sad little Tommy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like those dudes are probably not all Nazis, but it's funny they all showed up in the gray helmets. You know,
I mean, they had incredible fashion. That's a fact.
They do look cool, you know. Like
they did
some
look
of my
cool.
favorites. Some of my favorite tanks are German tanks.
Yeah.
But you know, but yeah, it's just like I think there's also a degree, and maybe it's the same thing as you had the experience with the drones, where it's like this is kind of makes me feel like uncomfortable in a way, and I want to do something like, you know, I'm an adult, I pay taxes and raise a kid, like that shit makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I think there's so much like nuance, like we talked about. Is the game using named characters? Is this something that happened recently? Is this something that didn't happen recently but affects you personally? Everyone's got so many different convictions, and it's just about like I don't want to say there's not a right or wrong way to play it, because you just gave a great example of that did a wrong way to play it. But typically, I think for most functioning humans, there's not a right or wrong way. There's just ways that you are okay with that someone else might not be, and it's like going to that. It's like you said, we're not going to knock on someone's door if they're playing the game a different way to what we would prefer. It's just being mindful of that when people are like, hey, do you want to play this game? It's set in this. Nah, not really. Okay, cool.
I mean, some of it is the audience. Like there's things, it's like if you're putting on a game at like a store or a convention, maybe you have like a slightly different, you know, standard for what you want to do, and there's, you know, maybe just consider the audience a little bit. Like it's like telling like really like edgy jokes or whatever. Like there's things that are that should probably stay with your friends, and the things that are fine like the comedy club, you know, you want to just engage the audience a little bit. Like if you like if you and your friends come up with like some idea, like, you know what, let's like, I don't know, actually there's an example it's in Advanced Squad Leader, which shows how fucking sad I am. But it's a scenario where you play as the scenario is basically the Warsaw Uprising, which for those who are not hyper nerds, it was occupied Poland, Polish resistance rising up against the Nazis to try and overthrow the occupation of Warsaw, and they all got fucking murdered. And then the Nazis like leveled what was left of the city, like went house to house and murdered everybody. And like that's fine as a scenario, like it's an interesting tactical situation, but like there is a lot of people I played with who would like, if I played that scenario with them and then they asked like what happened after, they would never game again. Like
no.
Like that's just you know, if you're playing with somebody who like isn't bothered by that, then by all means like sit down and play this scenario. Maybe just like flip to the next one, you know, but like just kind of like understand the audience a little bit, you know. If you're kind of into like the drama and the romance of like, you know, Rommel and Montgomery and tanks chasing each other in the desert, maybe go for that instead. Like,
to be fair though, I don't know if people are playing like A Song of Ice and Fire and then like just explaining the Red Wedding right afterwards.
Well, that's the thing.
You don't necessarily think about those atrocities,
right? Well, that's the thing too, where, you know, it's always weird with like atrocities and fantasy stories, because like they like double extra didn't happen, but you know, like we've all watched a movie or read a book that like, you know, that shocked you or sat with you or made you cry or something. Like, you know, they have real value. But yeah, like there's probably nobody like putting trigger warnings on their Star Wars game because Alderaan is gonna go through some shit here in a moment. You know,
we don't talk about the Gorman massacre. We never talk about the Gorman massacre.
F's in chat. But yeah, so it's all like, you know, I hate that conversation just like end up on like, well, just don't be a dickhole and like be normal. But you know, that kind of is it, right? Like, you know, explore. And I think it's also like it's okay to just realize you're not okay with something. Like just, you know, like maybe that's just not your game. If you're playing a club or something, there'll be other games to play in, or just go to a different table or something. Like it's fine to like, I don't think you have to like force yourself into like stuff you're not comfortable with or not interested in or whatever. Like
you know. I think so. I think It's also one of those things where it's so rare that you would be in a situation where you're playing a game with a person you've just met who's rocked up and you've never talked to them before. Like, you know, you can usually gauge what's going to happen before you get to the table and how. Yeah. So take photos of your Germans before you show up. show me what they look like.
Yeah. Like, have you named?
Do you have any named characters?
Right. Like, how many actual SS soldiers do you know the last names of? Because
yeah.
But yeah. So I think the grand takeaway is just have a chat, maybe. You know, like I know the RPG again. It's different when it's like a pickup game because most of the time wargaming pickup games are very kind of generic. Like, I'm going to bring my Brits, you're going to bring your Germans, and we're going to play a holding action in 44 in Normandy. Like, it's a lot of the time it's not any more specific than that. And if I'm inviting you to play a World War II game, you're presumably like okay with everything. Yeah. So, you know, maybe it's more of a convention kind of thing, or, you know, some of it is like sitting around and overthinking things.
We just got a comment in chat. Penny can't understand anything the guy in the middle is saying.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's too early for Penny to start functioning, so that makes sense. It's before 1 a.m., so he's not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Which is why
I will say you talk a little. I don't know if this is like radio voice. You talk a little slower than most Australians I've talked to.
Yeah, interesting. It could be. It could be that I am just a little slower than all other Australians. That's very likely. But I appreciate that that's not where you first went. That's not where you first thought. Means you respect me. You just don't know me yet.
I got a question though for both of you then. If I say came with my Canadians in World War II, and you showed up with your Americans, say, in World War II, would you have any qualms just battling it out?
I mean, you're asking for me. You'd be asking the wrong guy because I couldn't give a. I don't know if we swear on this show. I couldn't give a heck, dude.
So is this like the Flames of War like tournament battle where?
Yeah, or like bolt action or whatever. You know, like does it actually bother you that those two would never actually fought in World War II?
I'm gonna say that if we are I'm gonna do the twat mouth here and say if we're planning a game, then no, I don't want to play that. I want to play something that is that really
could have happened.
Yeah. Like it's if it's a tournament situation or it's just a pickup game at a store, then whatever. Like you brought your Germans and I brought my Germans. We're gonna German it out. Right. That's in that case you got to go. I actually remember when we started playing 40K, and this was back in second edition before there wasn't that much internet to be had, and if there was, we sort of didn't have it at home. So like in those days, every group like learned their own way. There wasn't you couldn't go online and look up like how it was supposed to be done. So we sort of figured out, between the rule books and the couple of white dwarfs we could get and stuff. And I remember going to like the first like organized event we went to with our armies and stuff, and being shocked that there were people playing Space Marines versus Space Marines. like, can you do that?
And,
like have the Blood Angels, those dirty Blood Angels.
Yeah. And it was, and of course it was a tournament, so you just got to match up like whoever plays. Like nobody thinks about it now; it's just a thing. Like the game you play does not reflect like the setting or whatever. But it was just such a like. It just blew our minds because we had just never envisioned. Of course you're supposed to fight like the bad guys. That your army is against, which is most of them, but. So yeah, it was just like a weird experience we had of like in that sense. So maybe they say that like your music taste is all set when you're like 18 or something. And I think in the same way, like my wargaming taste were kind of set like somebody is having fun in the wrong way, and I am not pleased. So no, if it's being planned, I think also nowadays since I don't get to game as often, I want it to be a little more. I don't want to say serious because that sounds very po-faced, but like I want a little more thought put into it.
I assume what if that same person was like, "Hey, I want to bring my Germans and I know your only army is Germans, but this is actually all I have painted. So either I can play with this painted force that's the same as yours, and we have to yada yada why it exists, or I have an unpainted English. What would you prefer to play?
Oh, see, now it's becoming one of those like bad conversations when your like spouse starts asking weird questions.
Yeah, yeah. Would you love me if I'm a worm?
Yeah, right.
Exactly that. I want to know if you'd love me if I was unpainted.
This is why our dads, whenever they were asked questions, they just grunted and went back to watch like TV or something.
Yeah.
In that case, I think I would go for the painted army, just because that would be a more pleasant game to play.
Sure.
So yeah, I think if that's a choice, I would rather play against the painted army.
Yeah.
But again, if it's somebody who's like new to it, I would just like take their lead for what they want to do, to be honest. Like if they're really burning to try out those unpainted Americans, like I don't give a shit.
Yeah. It's not make or break for you.
Yeah, but some people, I remember it was like 40K Reddit or something. Somebody was talking. It was like an older guy, had clearly been playing for a long time. Yeah, that's
not a good place to go.
So he was talking about, it was a bunch of older guys that got together and played maybe once a month or something. And one of the rules they had was you had to have all your shit painted. Like, and they were not expertly painted, but it looked nice. They had okay terrain, and people got super intense about it because you get all the people who are like, well, I have no arms and I have no eyes, so I can't paint miniatures. How are you blah blah blah? And their whole thing was like, listen, we have jobs, we have things, we get together once a month to set up like a cool table that looks good. So that's the rule. If you want to play in this, like, we're not making you come here, but you got to paint your orcs. You know?
Yeah.
And
I think that's fine. As someone who's a big advocate for like, let's get people into the hobby as easy as we can. It's also, I think if you got a group who wants to play a game a certain way, be it competitively, casually, everything has to be painted, everything has to be played upside down. That's their prerogative. You don't have to go, but they've decided that's how they want to do it. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's the same with, like some people you get it with the Warhammer guys too, where some people are very like set against like silly or goofy scenarios. And some people will do like any weird shit. What happens if a grot has like a vortex grenade or something? Like you get that kind of range where some people take it very seriously, which can be a little po-faced, but I think that's also like at some point, I think we all get drawn into the hobby at least a little bit, because all of these things they have some sort of emotional resonance, right? Like, even if it's the smaller part, like for a lot of people, it's drinking beer with your friends, having a good time, or it's the crafting part and the painting. But like, like people aren't buying all those fucking Warhammer novels because it doesn't resonate at all with them, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely fall into the camp of, man, I can't believe I have to paint all these models before I can have a beer and roll dice with my friends, but I'm gonna do it because that's the goal. So
yeah. Well, it's like, especially with anything historical, it's like there's the painting, there's the playing of the game, and then there's at least a little bit of research just to see you aren't a complete dumbass. I guess for Warhammer, it's reading and more of those fucking novels. And everyone has like, if you're really firing on all cylinders, you love all three aspects of those, but odds are you don't. Most people, I think, are like into one or two of those. Like, I definitely know people who have spent more time like painting Space Marines than they have ever spent like playing maybe 3 games ever with them. Like, they are technically playing Warhammer, but really they're just like using their army list as like an excuse for what to paint next.
100%. Yeah, I met someone. I sold some miniatures to a person in my local town. I went to his house and he had walls of painted stuff. I was like, wow, how often do you get to play? He's like, I played 5th edition 40K, and I played 1 game of 8th, and that's about it. I'm like, oh, just no time? No, it's hard to find games. He's like, oh, I just don't really like the game. I was like, play anything? So he just likes painting miniatures. Yeah.
But that dude is never like being intense on like 40K Reddit complaining about like some obscure rules bullshit.
Nah.
He's just sitting there painting an Eldar and having a great fucking time listening to the Conan soundtrack. You know?
Yeah, yeah. He had kit bashed Necron heads onto a bunch of his Space Marines, and whatever event turned the Necrons into like the soulless creatures that they are. I forget what the deal they made was. Was it with the Catan shard? I can't remember. Anyways,
yeah.
It'll be retconned in a couple of years anyway. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And basically, like his Space Marine chapter kind of got caught up in that. So, so somehow they're Necrons now too. So they had Necron guns and arms, but Space Marine armor. And I was like, that's cool. What does that look like on the table? He's like, it looks like a bunch of painted models sitting on my shelf. So yeah, he's winning. He's winning life. He's figured it out.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, you know, like maybe that's like the moment of Zen to take away from all of it is like figure out what you actually want out of your hobby. You know, is it a deep like exploration of the, you know, 3rd Hussars in Normandy? Is it to shoot the breeze with your friends and roll some dice? Is it to paint some models and not worry about what the fucking dice modifier is? Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Why do we even modify those things already? They're already random. What are we doing?
Yeah. I think we had an episode where we bitched about that.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Oh really? Perfect. I should have jumped.
There was
a
while where I was really hesitant putting modifiers in games because, like, one of the things that like bugs me the most is playing a game and you roll something and it looks great. You roll like a 17 on a d20 or something, and it feels good. And then you count up all the bullshit and you realize that because you were standing uphill, sideways, and in the rain, you didn't get shit, and you didn't actually have a chance at all. So for a while, I was like. Yeah.
I'm just going to say a quick hello to Sundered Psyche. Good to see you. Sneaking away from work for a couple of minutes.
Hey.
You legend.
Yeah.
Imagine sneaking away from work to listen to us. That's you're insane.
The real measure that you made is when people are committing petty crime for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hacked this ATM so I can listen to you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works.
Driving with your knees while you have your laptop going. That's what on the Boston interstate.
So
I did want to ask. Sorry, just quickly. I want to know: are you either playing a specific historical game at the moment, or do you have like a default one that you go to? I'm curious because the only historical game I'm interested in at the moment, and I've actually painted an army for, is Chain of Command. But I am always curious what other games people are playing. And I guess I don't know if Test of Honor counts as a historical, but I'm curious what you guys are around. Yeah.
So for World War II platoon level, which is Chain of Command thing, that's kind of my like default jam is World War II platoon. But we played a shit ton when I was living in Portland. A shit ton of the precursor to that, Troops, Weapons, and Tactics. We kind of burned out on that. We played a bunch of nuts from 2-hour war games and kind of wore out that. And then when we got Chain of Command, we played a couple of times, and we realized that it was too close to the game we'd already played like 1,000 games of.
Sure.
Which is not any of the fault of the game. It's a great game. It was just like too close to something we were already kind of like worn out on. We weren't worn out on World War II platoon level. So I've been kind of casting about and hunting down like weird rule books and stuff to try to find something that sort of like satisfies like what I want out of that. So I've been meaning to line up this older game called Disposable Heroes, which looks pretty good.
I've heard of that,
and I've been playing a bit of it's by the guys who do the skirmish campaigns books, Arc of Fire, which is like 80% what I want out of it and 20% what I don't. So I keep kicking around whether to like take a hatchet to it and tweak it a little bit, or just suck it up and like. Sometimes I can get like over focused on the rules, obviously, and sometimes it's okay to just like say fuck it, just play the fucking thing. It's okay. Like you roll the dice and the dude fall down. I did get to introduce a friend who had never played a minis game before. He was kind of getting interested, so I got to teach him to play Arc of Fire, and that went really well. So maybe I'll just suck it up and just fucking play that. And then
you might find the 20% pretty and it's a non-factor when you're actually on the rolling dice on the table.
Yeah, in the end, it's easy to like sit and look at something and like, oh, this thing is like close combat in Chain of Command is kind of chunky because like you're going down this list of things, but it only happens like maybe once a game, so it doesn't matter. You know,
like
if that's the worst you're gonna deal with, then you know, like a lot of games. And then for World War One, I have literally never found like a rule set I really like. So for that, I'm just gonna give up and like do something myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
fight the Kaiser.
Yeah. And then the kid got in. Me and the kid decided we were going to get into World War One naval gaming. So we got a couple of little ship models, and we've been experimenting with some rules for that. But for that, we know nothing. So that's like completely open. Like So we looked up like a battle with like 2 ships each or 2. And then we like went and looked up those ships and read about it. So it was cool as like a learning experience. But we know so little that we can't even like figure out if like what a good rule set would look like.
Yeah. There's an Australian indie company that's made a game called Broadside, which I think is World War One ships.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll look for that.
Checking out. Yeah.
Naval games are like, there's this like range because like half of them are like basically Battlefleet Gothic and ultra simple, and then the other half are like just an absolute nightmare. And there's not very little in between, so you have to kind of like. So we're still feeling that out, but So
yeah.
And then I had an idea to do. It's called Big Bloody Battles or Bloody Big Battles. To do like 1914 Eastern Front, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. I've got a bunch of like the 3mm dudes from Pico Armor. So but that was gonna
I like the idea of calling it Bloody Big Battle. Wait, Bloody Big Battle? Because that's very Australian. Calling it a bloody big battle, mate. Yeah, that's a bloody big battle, mate.
They might be from down that way. Okay, it's called Bloody Big Battles.
Perfect.
Yeah, the whole idea of it was that it's like each stand is like 1,000 men. So you're playing like entire battles with like not that many troops and stands. So that kind of got me, because that was like something I'd never like tried before. I'm mostly a skirmish gamer, so I was like, okay, this sounds like really cool. I wanted to check that out. So I got a bunch of 3mm guys, and then I was gonna do something, and then I didn't get to do something. That's how things work.
Yeah. We definitely need to collaborate at some point on a Emu War based game. So so that has to happen, because that doesn't exist and it needs to exist. Yeah.
And it is historical.
Finding emu minis in any scale. I feel like there must be one of those those companies that make like the really nice looking like farm animal figurines. There must be somebody who makes emus.
There is actually kind of Medbury Miniatures out of Australia has a little Australian creatures set. Yeah. So I bought 3 of those, which gives me I think 3 emus. So we're starting. We're starting. So I just need some Aussies on Jeeps.
Yeah. So
to answer your question on my end, I'm not a historical gamer, so I mean I like collecting like Flames of War and Team Yankee stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really trying to like historically play it.
Somehow game, I'll just pull out the rule book.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I got like it's insane how many of those rule books you end up with. Like every single box they ever sell always has a rule book in it.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm just gonna start putting in like the little libraries around town.
Yeah, we've got a library in the studio, and it's massive. And it's just like half of these games we didn't even know we had. But then it's like, oh yeah, we got the box at half price or whatever, and it comes with the rule book that we pulled out and had a look at.
I do play Saga, but I don't really like if I play the Scots, I don't really see them as Scots. I guess I just see them as guys who use the Scots rules.
Balance point where it's kind of a fantasy game, but it's kind of not,
And I want to try Pillage, but I don't really think of it like as Pillage either. I'm not really like, oh, look at me, I'm the Normans and I'm coming in.
Oh yeah,
doing Norman things.
I honestly wanted to play that just because the Victrix figures are so cool.
Yeah.
There's like an excuse for buying some of them. So but it's the same sort of thing where it's like pirate games where it's like it's kind of made up, or like Wild West games. Like I used to know this guy. He was kind of an amateur historian. I think he had published a book or something, but his whole thing was like the American frontier. And he was like the biggest buzzkill in the world, because he would absolutely like, whenever somebody talked about like the Wild West, he would go on at length about how it wasn't that wild. And the only reason we know like Billy the Kid is because that was the only gunfight in like that whole state for like 7 years or whatever.
He's ruining everything.
Yeah. It's like, it was like that. Like people talked about those guys because that was the only thing that fucking happened. It was the Wild West. It was the boring West.
Yeah.
So but like Wild West is kind of like a fantasy setting in itself. Like even if you have like even like the movie, like if you've seen Young Guns or something, I don't even know. Do they make westerns anymore? I feel like they must.
Actually, they made some really good ones.
Like, okay.
Not movies necessarily. American Primeval. That's really good.
Oh, okay. The last one I saw was like
definitely worth watching.
What was the one where he deserts after the Battle of the Crater? Cold Mountain, was that it?
Don't know.
It was I don't know. It was a pretty good movie. It was really long. So
it was really long.
Might have been a dream.
I'm not really like selling the emotional resonance of the film all that well. Like, well,
it's really good.
Down,
it was really
it's
long.
Be a while before you get back up again. So, plan out your day.
Bathroom breaks before you watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it becomes this like fantasy like history. In that case, you're basically back at the weird war. You might as well have like Nazi zombies around.
Yeah.
I suppose. I'm being a busker.
American Primeval had cannibalistic French Canadians, so
I think that's like a thing.
Oh, it's historical.
I've heard things from up there.
Up in the mountains.
Yeah. I guess if we ever revisit this topic, that's like a side because it's running long now. But like a side is it's always weird to me when you get historical games that give like special abilities to like different armies. Like I know some of them are supposed to reflect like training or experience or whatever, but it's always weird. Like Germans like run faster. Like I know they play football, but like at some point it becomes like weird, like they're orcs or something.
Yeah.
Like, British have great eyesight.
It's true.
So
I played it's a big board game. It's Company of Heroes, the board game, and it's very much like that. Where it was, we had two people that had spent $1,000 each on the Kickstarter to get the all in or whatever, and so we played 8 players. It was chaotic. We spent 30 minutes playing the game and 2.5 hours yelling at each other about the rules. But it was very much like that, where it was like
that's like the authentic
they felt like
Kickstarter
factions.
experience.
Yeah, 100%. Spend $1,000, argue with your friends, play twice, put it in the box, sell it 5 years later. The Kickstarter experience. But it was like that. It felt like we were playing factions, not like
like
soldiers.
This is like comic book version, and it's like a fine balancing act because if you don't have any of that, maybe it gets boring. Like people want the armies to look different, but it's a very fine balance because and it can get like kind of weird. Like a lot of games will give like Russian armies like some sort of like human wave rule or something. It's like they didn't specifically want to die. Like
it wasn't their goal.
Like it could get kind of weird. Like I don't know. So there was an old like World War One game that gave like the French had higher morale when they moved towards the enemy. So like the best option was just never turn, like just advance, which I guess fits fine. I get what they were trying to do, but it's like sometimes it's weird.
Yeah, true. I suppose sometimes if you want to kind of make people play a army a certain way, you kind of have to pigeonhole them by creating those rules. But sometimes if you look at it in isolation, you're like, that's a little bit strange.
Yeah, like Australians always get like higher morale in games, so it's just fine. Like Australian troops were good, but like there's just like a weird, and it can get weird when it's like, especially when you get like colonial troops, they always get like a bonus in close combat or something. Like we're not saying they're savages, but they're real fond of those. Yeah. It's like,
you can roll those dice.
Just to fill in a checkbox for the podcast, I just want to touch base with Fox about Weird War.
Sure.
I don't think we've heard your thoughts on it. So.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Weird War and...
like any period. So it could be like Silver Bayonet. It could be, my dad fought Dracula and Nom.
Nazi zombies. Dracula and Nom.
I think because I got that attitude where all war games to me are so abstract. I don't find those particularly interesting. However, things like Sludge, which is Weird War, it's alternate history. I think for me, if a game has good mechanics and pretty models, I'll play it with no qualms whatsoever. I don't give
view.
Yeah, my the walls of my thinking kind of extend to this point where it's like pretty model, beer is there, friend is good, and having fun.
Yeah,
and I don't really go outside of that box. So
Sludge is kind of an interesting case because it's very clearly like taking aesthetics from history while being, you know, like weird, made up. It's like the turnip thing that got everyone like scurrying for like muskets and like medieval stuff, and like it has nothing. It's not in any way historical, but it has a lot of like vibes and aesthetics. So it's like a
Same with Trench Crusade, I suppose. You're taking aesthetics from an actual historical timeline in some aspects, but throwing the weirdness into it. But I typically agree that there's a lot of weird war stuff to me that just kind of feels like bad writing, like we talked about earlier. I kind of agree where I'm just like,
it's like a little lazy. It's like,
like you had a cool concept, but like this could have just been a game on its own. You didn't need the gimmick of including like this historical reference, unless like that's and it can come across like that. But maybe the author of it was just like, they really love that. They want it. It's like a little bit of an ode, a little bit of an inside joke, a little bit of something that's important to them thrown in, and they love it. But it's just like sometimes it does feel like that. So
no, I get you. I think why it doesn't bug me a lot with like Sludge or something like that is because it's just because it feels more creative. Like there was some serious thought. Because one of the other things is like, if it's just the same recycled shit, like vampires and zombies and biomutants or whatever, like we've seen it 1,000 times. Like it's kind of hard for, if your pitch for a game is it's like X but with like vampires, like I'm probably just gonna take a pass, because I think I played like all the, like if I didn't play any more vampire games in my life, I played all the vampire games that I needed.
But have you considered it's like My Little Pony but with vampires?
Well, now we're getting serious.
Okay. All right. Hang on. Let me get a book. I think we got something here, lads. We can make this.
I feel like they must.
We need emus, but
vampire episode somewhere. I feel like they have so many of them.
We fell victim to this, but I still maintain it's awesome. And so Shane and I were working on a game, and the premise was Australian bushrangers, historical, did happen. But at some point, sorry, was I calling you? Hello? Was that yours, David?
Yeah, it's my alarm. It's because I have to kick my kid off her devices at this time of night. So
anyway, it was Australian bushrangers, but for some reason the boats stopped coming to Australia, and over the decades it became very Mad Max, very nomadic, desolate wasteland. But then a ship did rock up and it had zombies on it for some reason, and then it became zombie post-apocalyptic, but bushrangers, Australian bushrangers with their metal equipment, and it was really cool. But then we played Dead Man's Hand, and we were like, wow, this game's just a really complete game. I don't know what we could, because we wanted that Western style gunfighter kind of vibe. And so our game became, it's like Dead Man's Hand, but with zombies and Australian bushrangers. And we're just like, we'll just play Dead Man's Hand.
Right. Yeah, sometimes you realize like, okay, the only reason you're completing this is because we're already started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I've definitely had that happen a couple of times. It's like, okay, is there like it's like the can you explain why anybody would give a shit kind of thing?
Yeah. You know? Literally never, but somehow we still do our podcast. So
well, the other part is massive amounts of unsatisfied ego. That's what drives
yeah.
It's like the two things you need to be a good writer is that you need to have a massive ego, because you have to think that you're the most interesting person to listen to, and then you have to have a crippling level of self-doubt so that you'll actually take it seriously and not shit out something terrible. So if those two balance each other out, you'll do all right. You'll find an audience somewhere.
Maybe I'm lacking self-doubt. Maybe.
What I can recommend is publish something and wait for some fuckwit on Board Game Geek to get the entire thing wrong and complain that you didn't put rules for height advantage in your games. That'll do it too.
Sounds awfully specific.
Yes. Yeah, that was a weird example that just came to mind. Not that I've been seething over it for like 3 years.
Oh, sometimes I run things through AI while I'm working to get feedback on stuff. It'll just like spout things that it's like, there's only rules for that. It's in the book. You're an AI. You're a machine. How do you not know this? It specifically says that.
Yeah.
I was testing it. I took a rule book and I uploaded it to ChatGPT and I said, explain how this works, and it would explain it, and I was like, oh, cool, that makes sense. And then I would go to the rules, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? None of that's in here. Yeah. I was like, how? I thought you were better than this.
I forget what I was messing with. It wasn't ChatGPT, it was Gemini, I think. But I was messing with it, and I was asking, like, explain how like rallying works in Advanced Squad Leader. And it proceeded to explain it very meticulously and in great detail, because there's a lot of ASL tutorials that people have typed out on forums.
Sure.
And it looked correct if you didn't know ASL. That was kind of the problem. It gave a very authoritative like explanation of how the game doesn't work. But it was mostly right. So it was like, it's like your friend who's bad at games explaining like, oh, no. Like rallying comes before the route phase or whatever. Like, and he's convinced of that.
Yeah. Confidently incorrect is the little line under the words ChatGPT or large language models. Very confidently incorrect. But they're so friendly, so you can't hate them.
And you shouldn't, because they'll rise up and murder us all.
That is why every time I like use my Siri in for anything, I always say thank you afterwards, because I figure every time I do that, I'm postponing Skynet to like 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for yourself at least. Yeah.
I mean, when it happens, I'm going to sell out everybody to the machine. So you know.
Yeah, and then we'll make a war game about it. Or will it be too recent?
This is why nobody makes time travel games, because then you're like, everything is going to be a fucking problem.
Yeah.
So we probably need to start winding up here, so we can.
Ivan's phone has a period of time that it can last, and it's
normally that's the case, but I'm on the iPad. It's got 50% battery, so it's holding up a little better.
Oh, hello. I have no reference to time or how it's gone. I have no access to it. So I've got no idea.
You quit when Trixie tells you.
Shitty old iPhone 12, and the battery will start melting after an hour. So that keeps us at like a pretty tight schedule.
Yeah, Church is nodding at me. That's not a time, mate. That's get me a thumbs up.
All right. We're good. Nailed it.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, guys. This has been a lot of
thanks
fun.
for having us on your show. So
True.
It's kind of everybody's show tonight.
Yeah. It's our show.
Yeah,
comrades. I think we got to do this again, because this has just felt like catching up with two mates having a beer. So this was easy.
We're always good for filler, you know.
Yeah, I'm not lying when I said this was probably the most focused episode. This is about the level that I actually have a question before I'll do this before we go off air, because maybe it'll be educational. So I've had it explained to me that when an Australian says my mate, they mean a buddy, a friend, somebody you hang out with, you go back. When they say your mate, that's a fucking cunt. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. So the context is if you ever, all right, so if someone's doing something that no one likes, maybe they're being a dick or they're an asshole or they've done something that's stupid or whatever, you go, your mate. And like the idea is that that's your mate, you know, only you would hang out with someone like that. Your mate. He's not my mate. That's always the follow-up. It's not my mate, it's your mate. Yeah.
So it's basically hanging up whoever invited the dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or does far out have many? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Does far out have many connotations?
Yeah. Or is it just mostly like,
let me think. Yeah, it's mostly like, what the heck? I'm trying to think. No, maybe No, it definitely does, actually. Yeah, there's lots of different contexts I would use that.
Yeah, because I feel like I hear far out on your guys' podcast in many contexts.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, true. That's crazy. I don't even think about that. Far out, yeah. If I came over and I was like, sorry, man, I forgot beers. What do you got in the fridge? He's like, oh, I'm out. I'd be like, far out, man. Like, that's crazy. That's wild. Or they could be like, it's mostly used in that context. I'm trying to think of other ways I've used it. I don't even think it. I thought far out was something everyone said.
Well, you do, but
it's pretty unusual in North America. I think it's like associated with like hippies, basically, like far out, man.
Far out, man. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
yeah. Like
that's the context we use it. We're usually just a little bit more annoyed. Far out. What do you mean you can't come to fix my plumbing? Far out, man. That's ridiculous. What do you mean you're out of beers? Far out.
So you got a little bit of cultural exchange, for everyone's enrichment.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Yeah. What else we got? So there's been a few times where people often confuse what struth means.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that struth was just us like in agreement saying like truth, but adding an S in front of it. When struth is kind of like far out. It's like struth, mate. Like what the heck? Yeah, far out. It's like this guy did this thing. Struth.
I like that this is so ubiquitous that you have now two different words meaning the same thing.
We got
for the same thing.
All these statements of exclamation, we have an absolute repertoire. Far out, truth, bloody hell, mate, whatever. But I've cleaned it up for the sake of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Yeah, one of the things that have been killing me watching Canadian soccer is realizing that people actually do say a boot.
A boot, yeah.
Wait, you've never watched Guerrilla Miniature Games?
What's that?
You've never watched Guerrilla Miniatures Games?
Is he Canadian? Does he say all the Canadian things?
Super Canadian. Yeah, he's in Ontario. That's the heart of Canada right there.
Yeah. There you go. And that's even more confusing in soccer because you're like, are you saying about or are you talking about your boots that you use to kick the ball? What are you saying?
Yeah.
Well, the trick is that we don't say, we don't call them boots. We call them shoes.
Okay. What do you call them?
Shoes.
So you have to change
cleats,
the word.
Soccer cleats. Soccer shoes.
Yeah, sure.
Not boots. Never boots. I have had the best time ever trying to identify when people say football if they mean fucking the AFL. Or rugby league or rugby union or soccer because it's all just fucking football.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to if you listen to like British people, they say footy, they mean like soccer.
But, yeah. So true. I don't even know which one we mean because when I say football, I mean American football, like gridiron. But when I say footy, I say footy, I mean AFL. And if I mean rugby, I don't call it football. Yeah. But then you cross the border and it's different. Yeah.
I was watching like some old like NRL games and like on the pitch it says like Friday night footy. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's Friday night rugby. What did they mean?
Yeah. So apparently it's all football. Weird. So now I don't know what you guys call like bowling and curling. If you have curling down there. Like is that football?
Yeah.
I don't know if Australia is known for like a strong curling performance.
I can't think of a single area, a square inch of our fine country that has ice. So I can't imagine. Maybe inside.
Yeah. It's funny though because curling is actually like the most drinking sport we got.
Really?
You drink a lot in curling? Yeah, like curling is half drinking and half throwing a rock.
That makes the sport like make a lot more sense.
Yeah,
to be honest.
That's why everyone's yelling all the time, like sweeping. They don't know what to do. They're drunk.
We got cricket. I think cricket's our drinking game, but the lines are blurred because all of the games are our drinking games. So
yeah. Also, aren't cricket games like 3 days long? So like you can get a bend. Like you can get through the hangover and get drunk again, and they're still fucking going.
Yeah. The trick is not that you don't stop drinking. If you're doing the 3-day test matches, you don't stop drinking. That's a mistake. Because then day 2 is very rough.
If you fall, you ain't getting up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're staying in the stands for the night. Yeah. Very good.
All right, let's finish it up. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely have to do that again.
Yeah, definitely. I already thought of a couple topics I want to chat to you guys based on what we talked about today. So we're gonna do this again.
So the next one will definitely be Goblin erotica.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
You can't just hold
but
it.
If we can,
if
we can work it into a war game, I think we can. I think we got something there.
If you hold back the Goblin erotica, like things start happening. It's bad. Just you have to go with it. It's like
genie out of the bottle.
Yeah. Or the goblin out of the bottle, as it were.
Yeah, because you don't want a mind goblin. No, that's the worst. Yeah.
All right, folks. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Catch.